What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Amateur Hour TV for another video on the second channel for Amateur Hour. On this channel, I like to go through additional NBA-related topics, especially concerning the Toronto Raptors, that I just do not have enough time to go through on my main channel, Amateur Hour Sports, with over 11,000 subscribers. So instead, we do so on this channel where the vibes are a little bit different, a lot more of a personal touch from me, a lot more of an informal approach, just a little bit of a hangout session while we talk about the Raptors, that content that you love. So if you find yourself enjoying this video along the way, be sure to drop a like to give that extra bit of support, and make sure you're subscribed to this channel. Well, we're on our road to 2,000 subscribers. I'll keep you entertained with 2, 3, 4 Raptors videos every single week. Sorry for no videos on the weekend. Crazy busy weekend. I'm also going to be in Pittsburgh this weekend, so probably 2, maybe 3 videos this week on this channel. But we do have a video right now that we are going to hopefully enjoy talking about, and it comes from what we learned from the Rico Hines runs. Now, the Rico Hines runs, it's been great to watch this sort of footage. You don't get a ton of off-season footage, especially just raw footage of players working out in the off-season. You know, you have Ben Simmons every summer, has that workout tape. Actually, not this season yet, but every summer, it's Ben Simmons in the gym shooting threes. Everybody's like, oh my goodness, he can shoot threes now. He's working on his three-point game. All these NBA meme accounts saying, watch out for Ben Simmons this season with those eye emojis and whatnot. And then he goes in the NBA season and he doesn't even take threes because he just knows he's not going to hit them. I mean, maybe he could. He just doesn't shoot them. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is, in those videos, Ben Simmons could take 100 three-pointers. He could hit 5 of them. You could put those 5 in a video, make it look cool. But with these Rico Hines runs, it's just complete raw footage of the event and the scrimmages. You can't alter it. If a player misses 3 layups in a row, that's on the footage. That's going to be uploaded to YouTube for everybody to see. So watching all this raw footage is great. A ton of Raptors are at this event. A ton of Raptors players are at these events, rather. And, you know, it's new Raptors, older Raptors players. And it's really going to help with the cohesion of the team, the cohesion of the unit, because the Raptors, who maybe do lack that like superstar level talent, like obviously Siakam's tremendous all-NBA player. You know, I love Siakam, but with what we lack from, you know, the top 10 player in NBA, which Siakam obviously is not, unfortunately, we make up for in the team unity, the cohesion within team. That's what made us so good in that 2019-2020 season. So this is only going to aid in doing that. And it's also nice to see a lot of real superstar players out here playing in these events. Some great players at the Rico Hines runs. I know it's been like 2, maybe a few years since we last had these sort of tapes because of the pandemic and whatnot, but I feel like there's a lot of star power here, maybe even more than usual, and it's just great to see. It offers fans some really good footage of basketball that maybe they wouldn't be able to usually get in the offseason. And as a result of the way these Raptors players are doing and how everything is kind of panning out, we have some big words from an NBA superstar. I'll call him a superstar. As you saw the title, shouting out Toronto, maybe providing some sort of insight into what the expectation for the Raptors is going to be this season. And that man, I mean, I put him in the thumbnail, so it's not really a surprise. That man is Paul George. Paul George quoted to said, via the life of Scottie Barnes, shout out Toronto, y'all came and represented. I'd be disappointed, coaches, if y'all ain't come out hot to start the season. And Paul George, put a little bit of respect on the Toronto Raptors name. Raptors fans, I mean, we're not used to getting that sort of respect. We're like a stray dog. Now, when you try to go pet it, it just think you're trying to hurt it. But then it starts to kind of realize, okay, maybe you are being nice. I mean, that's pretty good. I think pretty good analogy. We don't get that respect. So when we get it, it's like amazing because nobody ever does it. Nobody ever gives it to us. So when we get this sort of respect, we make YouTube videos about it. And Paul George here, shouting out Toronto. And I wanted to take this video to kind of discuss maybe what other people are seeing with Toronto at these runs, and also discuss maybe sort of the expectation for the Raptors and how the coaches that Paul George would be disappointed in if we don't come out hot to start the season, how the coaches can get the best out of this unit. So as far as the players at the Rico Hines runs, I mean, Scottie Barnes is hashtag him. I mean, he's looked phenomenal in every endeavor he's taken part in the offseason. I know it's pro-am some stuff, and he's playing against plumbers and whatever, or grocery store baggers. That's not even a job anymore. But I recognize that. I know these are just scrimmages, but Scottie Barnes looks like him out there. Siakam looks excellent. He has looked really good in a lot of the footage. There's going to be some blemishes, as the same would go for every player, but Siakam has looked really good. Even, you know, some other maybe lesser known, for lack of a better term, Raptors players. Like, I think Ron Harper Jr. has impressed me a lot. I recognize it's just scrimmages. Gabe Brown has also looked pretty good, even at these. The guy the Raptors signed on an Exhibit 10 contract. And again, it's these guys getting to play together. I like that in a lot of the footage, the Raptors players are playing on the same team as each other, so that cohesion can kind of be there. There was one I saw where there was the Raptors like starters versus the Raptors bench. That was super cool because you want these guys to get accustomed to playing with each other, as I have mentioned numerous times, and they're playing really well. I mean, Patrick Beverley was shouting out Siakam, like he was saying to all the young players, not all y'all are Siakam. You got to know your role. You got to, do your thing that makes you effective. Siakam can be his own man and be so effective as his own man. As was a testament to that was him making the All-NBA third team. But how can the coaches get the best out of this unit? Raptors have 19 players currently on their training camp roster. I talked about in the Amateur Sports video, the main channel video today, about Simi Highlight getting waived. We can rejoice. I mean, we talked about Simi Highlight on this channel quite a bit. Players that we can bring in. Jarrett Culver, a guy who has been a big part of these Rico Hines runs. You can talk about Jalen Harris as well. You can also go to the guys who are on Exhibit 10 contracts, like Gabe Brown, obviously already on one. You can bring in another one on an Exhibit 10 contract to fill out your Raptors 9-5 G League team a little bit better. Lots of different options to pursue there, but for the Raptors, getting the most out of this team won't be easy because there are a lot of guys who have to eat out here. Like, all the dogs got to eat, you know what I mean? That made OG Anunoby upset apparently this offseason that he wasn't getting all the touches that he thought that he deserved. I thought he was getting plenty, but apparently he was not getting as much as he would have liked to have gotten. There's 5 really good players in the starting lineup, but like the best guys are probably going to be Siakam and Barnes. They need the ball the most, and picking up the pieces are going to be all-star last season, Fred VanVleet, OG who wants more touches, and Gary Trent who's in a contract year is going to want touches. He may come out of the starting lineup for another worthy player of touches in Precious Achiuwa. Then you've got your role players like Otto Porter, Chris Boucher, and Thaddeus Young. But there's 6 guys who are going to need the ball a lot. Maybe some of the point guards on the bench like Malachi Flynn, who has looked really good in the offseason. I don't believe the hype on that, but he's going to maybe want a little bit more of a role. I will see if he actually gets it. But structuring that starting lineup won't be easy. Structuring the minutes distribution, the touch distribution for all of these guys definitely won't be easy. So it's up to Nick Nurse and the coaching staff to get it done. But what's great, what the Raptors have been kind of sneakily doing here, a little bit of a trend going on right now is teams hiring people that can lure those free agents. So you've got the New York Knicks. They hired, was it like Jalen Brunson's uncle or something? They hired somebody close to Jalen Brunson, maybe like a former coach or a former trainer, which may have helped persuade him to go to the New York Knicks. Donovan Mitchell, I think there's something similar there. I should have checked before this, but what the Raptors have done here, they've hired Rico Hines, who has such a great working relationship with all these players who are showing out at his scrimmages to work out. Like, they're all going for Rico Hines and to get a good workout in because they know him and they know the vibe that he brings. And having it on the Raptors, I mean, that's just a little bit extra pull the Raptors can have in free agent markets or trade markets. And then you've also got Earl Watson, I believe his name is, who's also very prevalent at these Rico Hines run as a coach. He's another guy that could be an extra little bit of pull that a free agent might need to be persuaded to come here. Now, it's not going to happen this season because we're pretty maxed out with our roster, except for like a minimum player like Jarrett Culver or Jalen Harris, etc. But these are things that are going to help this team. They've been working with these coaches, and they're going to work with the guys like Nick Nurse in the training camp. And, this roster hasn't really shaken up since last season. The only big shakeup is you've added in Otto Porter Jr., who's going to be getting some good minutes off of the bench. But this team that played so extremely well together last season just need to run that back to a higher degree for next season. So in what Paul George is saying here, I would agree with his sentiments. If the Raptors start the season slow, which I felt like they did last season, I mean, they were great beyond December. They were like on a 55-win pace of December. But if they were to start slow this season, I'd be disappointed, coaches, frankly, because I think we have a great team. And I think we have a great team that all works together really well. I think there is, again, going to be a little bit of difficulty in the sense that you've got to make sure all the guys are getting the touches that they need to get. But I think that is something that Nick Nurse can handle because he handled it last season. So Siakam maybe gets it around the same, a little bit more. Scottie Barnes gets it more. Fred, maybe a little bit less. OG, maybe around the same. Gary Trent, I mean, that's the fifth guy. Maybe he's got to come off the bench. So you put Precious Achiuwa there, and Gary Trent gets a lot more touches because he's coming off the bench. Maybe that's the structure the Raptors need to pursue. That was covered in a full video on Amateur Sports as well, and I think that would be a good decision for the Raptors to follow so that everybody gets the touches they want. Gary Trent, perfect archetype from a player's standpoint to come off the bench and be that sixth man. It's not a downgrade. Go win sixth man of the year. Look how much Tyler Hero is about to make in this market playing as a sixth man. Gary Trent can do the same, but I'm sure the coaches know what they're doing. They probably know more. They know more about the team than I do. Of course, they know more about the individuals and the players than I do, and I trust them to get it right. But if they don't to start the season, it's a little bit slow. I'm going to back them to figure it out. They did it this season. They always do it, right? But if they start slow, as much as I trust them to figure it out, I would be disappointed like Paul George would be. I don't know if you hear my cat going crazy right now, but that is it for me for today on Amateur TV. What do you guys think of this? What do you guys, how about like first 10 Raptors games? How many wins? Let's be above 500, right? Let's go and get 7 in the first 10. Set the tone for the season, you know what I mean? But that is it for me on Amateur TV. Thanks so much for watching this video. Please drop a like if you did enjoy. It goes a long way to supporting the channel, because when you like the video, it sends that message to YouTube to recommend this video to other people who have similar interests to you, because you like the video and YouTube goes, well, this guy likes the video, then these guys are going to like the video. Let's go recommend it to them. Help spread the word of the video. Help spread the word of the channel. And if you're new, or if you have just not done so already, you need to be subscribed to Amateur TV for more Raptors content like this. You also need to be subscribed to Amateur Sports with over 11,000 subscribers there for more Raptors content, a lot more formal, a lot more professional, maybe more insightful. I don't know. This channel's doing really well. You guys are loving these videos. I'm loving that you're loving these videos. So thank you so much. I just kind of mess around and chat Raptors, and I'm glad that, there's a lot of people out there like yourselves who care about what I have to say and want to hear what I have to say. Makes me happy, makes me smile. So thank you. See you next time for another video on Amateur TV.